back, the High Court in Joburg now ruling that the Gauteng Health Department must provide treatment to a group of cancer patients while it appeals a previous court ruling. The first ruling said the Gauteng Health Department had to provide radiation oncology treatment to the patients. The department then appealed that ruling. Normally, that would mean they don't have to provide the treatment, but now the court has ruled that it must while the appeal is being heard. Salome Meyer is the CEO, is the director of the Cancer Alliance. Salome, good afternoon to you. The court made it clear that these patients don't have the luxury of time. They might well die if they don't get this treatment and if they don't get it now. How important is this to these patients?
Good afternoon to you, Stephen, and to all our viewers. Indeed, this is a major landmark ruling for cancer patients and any other patient in terms of waiting times. What we need to understand is it is government's obligation to provide treatment, and that is within the reasonable time, and especially when money has been allocated for them to provide the service. And I want to take us back. Just remember that we had worked with the Gauteng Treasury to actually provide that 784 million rand. They still failed to provide that service. So yes, it is very important ruling that indeed it is a constitutional right of patients to receive the required treatment within, and I want to say that within at least 3 months for a cancer patient, you should be able to have your treatment.
This is life and death. This case has been going for ages, and I still don't get it. From what you say, the department has the money. Why has it given any rational reason as to why it won't provide the treatment?
Well, the case has been going on since 2022. That's when we compiled the backlog list. So at that point, there were patients already on the backlog list for 4 years. So one can actually just start going back. When did they come onto the backlog list? The Department of Gauteng Treasury allocated the 784 million in 2023 to them. And in 2024, we discovered that they actually had given money back to Treasury unspent. One can ask the reasons why, and then all that I can say is incompetency and not being able to understand what it is that they have to do with regards to radiation oncology and the fact that they had to provide these services. It was also very clear with the money that they were allocated that this had to be allocated for outsourcing to the private sector. The private sector had indicated that they have got the capacity to assist the Department of Health with this backlog list. And that in itself took them more than 18 months to actually figure out how they actually had to manage that. So, if we don't learn the lessons from, and I want to say from COVID, of how to manage an emergency or a pandemic, then we are going to fail dismally. And this is exactly where the department has failed dismally in terms of providing exactly those services. They did not, despite the National Department of Health guiding them towards the COVID regulations and how to manage outsourcing, they did not learn from that, and they still then said, no, we will do it our way. So that is where the delays have been happening. And these delays have cost many patients their lives.
So I don't know if it's ideology or what it is, but people are dying basically because they aren't receiving treatment that the Gauteng Health Department has money to give.
That's correct. People have died.
Sure.
There's no other way than to put it. People have died. So it is also a matter of, you asked the question, is it ideology? The Gauteng Health Department, we were in a collaborative relationship with them in terms of a task team. And then at one point they just decided, no, we're going to kick you out of the process. We're not willing to talk to you anymore because we see you as you want to dictate to us what to do. Instead of actually sitting with us around the table and trying to solve the problem, they then said, no, they're going to keep us out. And that is what literally forced us to go to court and say, can we start resolving this?
I noticed, if I understood the reporting correctly, that in fact the judge said that some of the officials have to pay for the costs of this last action in their private capacity. In other words, the judge is making them personally liable, which is quite rare.
Yeah, well, that in itself, I think, is already indicative, in terms of where we're going with this case. We also know that within the current ruling that was given to them, that they, Gauteng, actually now have the right to an emergency appeal. So we can, and if we just look at how they have been managing this process, we can expect them, in fact, to actually lodge that within the next week. So we could be back in court within the next week. My question is the Gauteng department going to allow this to continue with legal cases? Do they want a full bench now to say to you, you have to do what you are supposed to do? And are you still going to spend money on legal action instead of directing exactly that money to patient service care?
Salome Meyer, thank you. Director at the Cancer Alliance. It's an astonishing story. We'll try and get some sort of response from the Gauteng Health Department. Let's see what they do legally as well.